Jesse Blake.
All right. And why are they clapping, you ask? Because we have a live show coming up at the Corson Clubhouse in St. Catharines in a week and a half. CorsonClubhouse.com for tickets. Make sure you check it out. Remember, you have to also bring your driver because Jesse's doing a longest drive competition.
No, don't bring your own club.
Why not?
They have clubs there.
Walk up with your clubs. What could go wrong? A lot of alcohol in people's clubs.
Bring the whole bag.
Bring the whole bag.
I will be bringing my own bag because I'm probably going to be golfing.
You can
earlier
use Jesse's clubs.
No. No. Don't touch a man's club.
Don't touch a man's club.
No, you can touch my club.
Actually, no. I think the other real reason that Jesse and Steve are clapping this morning is it looks like we are nearing the end of the Nicky Bobby saga.
Yay!
Nicholas Robertson, according to Darren Drager on First Up 1050 with our good friend Carlo Koliakovo today, I believe that they're going to get something done and that Nick Robertson will return to the Maple Leafs. Apparently, Robertson has spoken with new coach Craig Berube, and Berube has assured him there's nothing but opportunity, and he will be given a shot with the Leafs on the left wing. And then, quote, it sounds like he's leaning more towards recognizing what he has in Toronto and making the best of the situation.
We talked about every angle of this, except one. He's got a new coach.
We talked about that.
Yeah, you have. But, I don't know why I haven't been hammering that. Okay, you're mad at the team. I get it. You're mad at what the previous coach did with your ice time. I get it. Okay, but, he's not here.
Yeah.
He's
and you're probably not
a different guy.
You're probably not getting moved to New Jersey. So, relax and enjoy. Come take the opportunity.
I feel like I dangle jinxed this. Because we talked about it ad nauseum, but also I was finally starting to message people because we're doing our season previews, which we're going to start recording today. And I'm doing research and I'm looking at, all these teams' depth charts and what they're doing with their lineup. And I've been hammering, there's no team that is going to provide Nick Robertson with an opportunity. And I started looking around and I started messaging people. I'm like, no, there's a few. There's not many. There's very few, but there maybe half a dozen. But they gotta want you, and I guess we'll talk about that as time goes. But I'm glad he's seeing sense.
I dollars and cents potentially.
Hey,
now I was talking to somebody who knows the game a lot better than, and no offense to either of you or myself, but knows it much better than we do.
Oh.
And I can't say who it is.
What did Maddie say?
But we were talking about this.
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky said, no, he didn't. A week ago, he said he could play top 6 and rip home 30 and then sign a nice ticket. That's what this guy thinks. And this is somebody who's well-placed, knows what they're talking about.
You're not going to...
I'm not going to name who. I can't say who because I didn't.
You were leading into it really well. I'm like, this is interesting.
This is somebody who knows.
You keep hammering the point that somebody very important said.
Somebody I was talking. Listen, I'm pulling a Freach. Somebody I know, somebody I was talking to, well-placed within the game.
Yeah, that's not a Freach.
That's a little closer to Sid 6.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm not doing a Freach impression.
30 goals.
I think you were trying.
For 30 goals in the Calder Cup means nothing.
Being an RFA means nothing.
Listen. This is, and we said it on Friday, this is a huge opportunity for this guy to finally go, this is mine now.
Yes.
My spot.
Yes.
And the issue is the Leafs don't have a ton of cap room to sign him, but I don't think that's an issue because they'll figure that out. That's a problem for a month from now.
At no point has he indicated that the problem here is money, right? Mm-hmm. So I assume his contract is going to be very nice for the Leafs. It's still going to be a very good living for him.
Do you think it'll be a 1 year or a 2 year, guys? Because if I'm tree living and tree laughing and tree loving, I will probably make him sign for 2 years.
Yeah, if you're the Leafs, it's in your best interest to get multiple years here. I would think at least 2. I would think at least 2. Again,
do you have an idea of what, like $1 million?
The Leafs hold all the cards here. I look at...
Was it $1,350,000 that you can bury, or is it higher than that now? It's higher, I think.
I look at a contract like what Connor Dewar got. Something in there. Which, what did he get? A lot of guys, like Benoit signed for 1.35. He's not really a comparable. He's a defenseman. Bobby McMahon signed for 1.35. Ryan Reeves signed for 1.35. And then Dewar, was he 1.18? 1.18. I was so close.
All those are variable. Wow.
Yeah, exactly, right? So... I could see him a hair under $1 million for a couple years, but I could see him a hair over. And either way, I think it'd be fine.
And he's got all his hair.
And hey, tell you what, if you sign a 2-year deal, he does have all his hair. It's beautiful. If he does sign a 2-year deal at like, I don't know, 800-900K, and you're still obviously a good player, but it's still obviously not working here. Guess what? The second year makes you easier to deal.
Exactly. And I look at Nick Robertson's situation and I go, basically, you're going to get an opportunity to play with some of the best playmakers in the world, whether that's Nylander, Marner. I would say some of the best passing in the NHL is Max Domi. He's an unbelievable passer. There are some warts to that game, but there's no question that guy can set you up. And I feel like this is a guy that could look at, say, like a Michael Bunting, and
who signed 2 years, $900,000, and
then
parlayed it into millions of dollars.
Right. And a nice fat contract, and deservedly so.
Yes.
Is it out of the question now? 30 goals. As much as I trust that person, 30 goals seems like a little bit of a wild step.
Maybe not this year.
I think 20 is completely on the table.
He was on pace for 20-ish. Within.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. New coach, new outlook.
Yes.
If you thought Sheldon Keefe was hard on defense, how do you, Jesse and Steve, go about cleaning up that part of your game, which from Sheldon Keefe's perspective was not good enough to make the defensively irresponsible Leafs better? The Leafs were defensively irresponsible a good chunk of Sheldon Keefe's tenure. Craig Berube is supposedly supposed to come in and fix that. And that's how the Blues teams were supposed to play when they were at their best. How do you come in? What do you do?
Well, so the Leafs having a little bit of cap space right now. I hope they begin the season with some cap space to accrue, sort of like the Oilers are. You know, you're not in LTIR. You're not having to play with no spares.
You'll be interested to note, by the way, that this is the first time since we started this show that the Leafs have zero buried and zero buyout money on the books.
I'll give it time.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. The reason I bring that up is Sheldon Keefe, like from what we know, especially like post-COVID, Keefe was very well documented, like Amazon and all that, and his departure from the Leafs and him talking about his successes and failures, mostly failures when it came to the playoffs, what he wants to do with the Devils. I'm convinced he got it. I'm convinced he understood what made this team good, what made this team bad, and what this team needs to do differently. I'm not convinced he was able to or knew how to be the enforcer that he needed to be. I think Sheldon Keefe told this team what to do till he was blue in the face, and they didn't do it, and then they fired him. Craig Berube has the reputation of a hard ass, right? But what if the hard ass can't do anything because you've taken away all of his tools? It's like the discussion with Jay Woodcroft at the beginning of last season. You know, some Oilers needed to be punished or sat down or whatever. They didn't have the means to do so. They didn't have the cap space.
Right.
So I would not be opposed at all. You know how like David Kampf got scratched last year and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way? Lost in that narrative is he was playing like shit.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah. They also put him in a shit position.
Yeah.
Why were they playing him there?
I know. Well, and
that's when the Brad thing came out of, right?
You can punish him. You can't punish the others, blah, blah, blah. If Willie is doing Willie things like he does once every couple months, where he's superstar coasting, you know what I mean? And Sheldon would be like, harumph, and like bench him for a couple shifts, right? No, like I want to see Craig Berube. All right, you're on the fourth line. I'm stapling you to Dave tonight. Dave and Ryan. That's who I'm stapling you to. Or you're scratched altogether. I maybe wouldn't do Willie.
That? Yeah.
But you understand what I'm getting at, right? So I know your question had to do with Nick Robertson.
And cleaning it up.
But it's got to be, if you stink, you're gone. If you're not doing if you make a mistake, you flub something, the puck hops over your stick, whatever. If you do the opposite of what I fucking told you to do, you're gone.
Jesse, what are your thoughts?
The Sheldon Keefe firing is always going to be a curious one in Leafs history because all he ever did here was become the winningest regular season head coach in Toronto Maple Leafs history.
Percentage-wise.
Percentage-wise, yeah, not in terms of total games.
Saving you from the comment section.
No, that's fine. So like it's always because I never thought that any of the losses were on Sheldon Keefe in terms of like there's more he should have done from a coaching perspective. No, it's always been on the players and he has to wear it for the players and the big wholesale changes, everything's on the table. It came down to it's Sheldon Keefe's fault and he's on the table and the old GM's now gone and now he's also gone and the players kind of never moved out. So it's now we're going to see, I guess, if it's actually the players or the coach. We're going to get the new coach. There's going to be some sort of new coach bump, but it's never really been a coaching problem. So I don't know if bringing in Berube to fix Robertson is the issue, as Robertson needs to fix himself.
You want me to melt your brain?
Sure.
Right now? So
go ahead.
Again, doing research for the season previews. Keefe, winningest all-time coach in Leafs history by points percentage.
Yeah.
One playoff series win, right? So we're looking to illustrate the difference between the regular season Leafs and the playoff Leafs. Over the last 2 seasons combined, Ilya Samsonov is one of just 13 goalies to reach 50 or more wins. How many not regular season, how many regulation losses did he have? So just losses not in overtime of the shootout.
Over the course of the last 2 seasons?
Last 2 seasons, he had 50 wins.
Like 20.
17.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't lose a whole bunch. They're a very good regular season team.
Yeah, like so
consistently year in year out.
So the new coach bump. No, I think it might be the new coach elbow drop. Like there's a chance they play kind of shit here and they take a step backward in the regular season, and no Leaf fan should really care. Because I mean, listen, if they're playing garbage, it's one thing, but it's all about the lead up to April.
Getting away from let's not go to April right
I know.
now. It's September the 9th, so we don't need to go there. We need to take this step by step.
I think the overarching narrative of the Leafs, unfortunately, is the playoffs.
But we know that. So we know that.
If Nick Robertson...
what I'm not going to do this year, gentlemen.
No, I know.
Love you both.
I know.
Not going to go talking about April every time.
No, but if Nick Robertson or anyone does stuff that's going to help you then... You're on the team.
So what we will be looking for is incremental change.
Yes.
I think, right? We're going to be looking for, hey, that's a playoff style goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like it's wrong to just not talk about the thing that's most important about the team.
Right. I just don't want it to be like here's a dead stop on the content, because
the summer
it's like if they go on a 5-game win streak, you'd be like, well, nothing matters unless they make it in the playoffs.
No, we never do that. Shut down a win streak.
That is the majority of the majority of what I see. And so where I wanted to take this with Nick Robertson is, I'm going to give you a parenting analogy. The parenting analogy is...
Go to sleep! Listen to your mother!
I know that there is a limit to what my child can hear from me and improve on. If I want her to do certain things, I don't ask her to do it. I ask her Auntie Lauren to do it. And what I mean by that is, specifically, my daughter decided one day, she went to daycare, she ate vegetables, fruit, eggs, whatever, and decided after about 3 weeks in daycare, I'm not doing any of that. I'm only eating brown food. So I'm going to eat fries, I'll eat chicken nuggets, I'll eat whatever. And over the course of the last few years, when I go up to my wife's family cottage, I have her sister go, hey, Everly, you want to try this? And because she loves her Auntie Lauren so much, she goes, sure. Now Everly eats broccoli, doesn't even have to have it steamed, just crushes it. Again, which she used to do. And it's taken 2 years to get back to that.
Raw broccoli?
She will eat raw broccoli now because of her aunt. Because her aunt will do it and she'll be like, well, I need to do what she's doing. Yeah. My point in that, and that's an overly simplistic view, is sometimes the same message from a different person just all of a sudden sinks in.
It almost seems like the Leafs need the opposite of that. Why don't you play defense? Would you like to back check?
Why?
And now it's back check or pack your shit to Coca-Cola. Which I think is going to be...
Except for you, Willie. You can sit for a couple shifts.
Yeah, except for you, Willie, always, for some reason. Also, we signed your brother.
Also on the segment this morning, Darren Dreger, who is well connected with the Marner camp, said that the Leafs and Marner...
Is that documented?
It is documented. I said the Leafs are in a good place. And that the understanding is that he will make a lot of money, whether it is in Toronto or elsewhere. What I find interesting, guys, is when we sat before training camp, I believe it was 2019, where Marner was out of contract and he signed it 2 days before training camp. The anxiety that we had as a group of fans and on this show about that was so high. This year, I don't know about you, but I haven't really thought about it too much. What do you guys, is there I don't see the anxiety from fans about this. I'm curious as to why, because I can't quite explain it to myself. This is a great hockey player.
I worry about apathy. I think fans are kind of done, to be honest. Like, they're sort of interested in Berube. This morning, I was talking to someone who I talk to once every few months when I see them, and she looked very excited, and I thought it was going to be a burning Leafs question. So why isn't Crosby signed? That's what I got. You know why? Because that's interesting. Leafs aren't interesting. What's going on with Austin and Mitch? And gives a fuck. Okay, you got your C. You took it from John. You gave it to gives a shit. Some guy who got millions last time is going to get more millions this time, even though he's done fuck all in between getting the millions. Who cares? Who cares? You've said for years, Adam, that Leafs fans are blue-collar fans. Like, even though the stands are filled with seats. Suits.
They are filled with seats.
The stands are filled with seats.
Both are true.
That are filled with suits. My bad. The stands are filled with suits. But Leaf fans like a blue-collar team.
A hard knocks team. They do like a tough team.
We're weird. Like, if given the choice between having a President's Trophy winning juggernaut or the 1993 team that squeaks in and upsets Detroit, everyone's going to take the team that upsets Detroit and, makes a little bit of noise.
Or I think more recently, people focus too much on the 93 team. How about a team that included Darcy Tucker, Gary Roberts, and Ty Domi?
Gary Roberts, there was a time where he could have ran for mayor and won with no contention.
Yeah.
There was a time. Maybe still. He might.
And he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
So was Darcy.
Yes. But Roberts decided to sacrifice both his shoulders en route to just going to the third round. And we were like, that guy's an animal. Anyway, you know where I'm going with all this. Like, I don't think you panic about things you don't really care about. When the puck drops, fans will get excited again. And they'll be like, what are we talking about? It's the passion, go Leafs go, and all that. And then Mitch is probably going to go on the best pace of his career. It's a contract year. But year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out. I'm supposed to give a shit about what this kid's going to make.
So it comes back to April. Jesse,
yes!
Do you agree with that?
Yes, Jesse. Jesse.
No,
yes, Adam.
You don't agree.
No, that's the thing. But I don't know. We're not supposed to go there.
So Adam, no. This is an important conversation, right? Because we have this show and we do 3 a week, and I have LFR and I do 3 or 4 a week, and that one's just Leafs. Like, here we can hide a little bit. And we can go into nooks and crannies and talk about different topics. I can't sit here and go, yeah, but April, every friggin' video.
That was my point. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
No, I know. And I know. But to sit here, and I have a hard time. I have such a hard time focusing on the beginning of the season. Especially when it comes to the old faces. And this team is mostly old faces, by the way.
It's a lot of change this year.
Game 7, my Game 7 LFR video was called Eulogy. And Game 1 of this season should be called Brains.
Rising from the dead in October.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
It's an identical team. All they did was the guys who walked, they filled it with free. I don't even think they made a trade. They filled it with free agents. The free agents left. Free agents joined. I liked the things that they did in free agency, but that's it. That's it. Everything is on the table. Everything is off the table, but shoved off like a cat. Just saying, fuck it.
In terms of like pure roster construction, on day one, there's probably going to be 2 Leafs in the starting lineup that didn't play for them last year. And that's it. It's going to be Tanev and OEL.
Yeah.
Like
installers. Well, yeah, but he won't be in the starting lineup.
He's not going to be starting.
You're right.
There's going to be 2 changes.
I'm going to say 3 with Easton Cowan. I think he makes the team out of camp. I think they give him the Fraser Minton.
Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, right? Fair?
Sure. Okay,
you're right.
You get 3, and one of the 3 was in the organization. So, what's the big moves are 2 guys.
Well, I guess
Steve, you're not wrong in that. Yeah, it's the zombie league. We all thought the day after games, that night, and then the morning when we wake up, it was over. Yeah. Wholesale changes from the whole thing, and we come back, and it's 2/3 guys who are different.
I talk to so many Leaf fans, and it always comes back to April. Every time, and like this is very anecdotal, but it always comes back to April. And the difference between Charlie Brown not being able to kick the football because Lucy keeps pulling it away and normal people is we're not as dumb as Charlie Brown. Like that's what being a Leaf fan is every year the hockey gods go, "Wah!" and they pull the football away. And
but that's
people are like, you know what? I'm not going to.
But that's so you're asking the fans like, where's the anxiety about Mitch and everything? But that leads the apathy. The apathy is we've kicked this football and we know it's going to be moved away from us. Yeah. I'm not going to get excited about this thing until I see something on the ice and they're winning and everything's happy again. But in September, what is it? September 9th?
September 9th. Yeah.
You expect me to have anxiety over this team? I don't care. That's what leads the conversation.
The Leafs have a couple things going really well for them. Number one, they have a corporate well that just will never run dry. They have the best regular season goal scorer in hockey. And the other teams in this city fucking stink.
Yeah, they
fucking stink.
Yeah, they do. All of them.
All
of them do.
The Scepters, which we'll get to. You know, they've only played one season. You know,
yeah, it's going to take a little while for that to up. Like, I know the hardcores are there, but it's going to take a little while for that to have a place in the city, like, you know, a team like the Jays or the Raptors.
But if we're talking about the major men's sports franchise that have established their brand in the city for decades, over half a century for at least a couple of them, the Blue Jays stink. The Raptors stink. The Leafs will win. They'll win games.
They're at least a playoff team.
Yeah.
Bank that.
In terms of the team you're most likely to watch win a game, the Leafs. Even in the playoffs. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? They'll win 45% of the playoff games that they have, which is so much better than the Jays. In recent memory.
Yeah.
Like, it all comes back to that. And I'm going to try. I am going to try because I know no one wants to hear that shit all the time. No. But that's the beginning, middle, and end of this team.
No, once games start, it's different. Asking people to get all worked up and hyped about the Leafs on September 9th is a little different, unless you're a hardcore hockey fan, which the majority of people listening to this are. But once the puck is dropped, it's completely different. The NHL season's back. Everything's exciting. A goal will be scored. And you're like, oh, Austin scored a goal. I'm excited. Yeah. There's things going on.
Adam is like trying to manifest Easton Cowan making this team.
He's going to.
And I'm like, you know what? Please. I need the distraction. I need it.
Awesome.
I need it.
Nick Robertson
There's something
signing
to talk about.
Nick Robertson signing and then scoring the first goal of the Leafs season. Give me that shit.
Now, is it on the power play or is it 5-on-5?
5-on-5.
What is he doing?
No, a power play.
What is he doing on the power play?
Nick Robertson?
Being Nick Robertson. Second unit.
I don't think they're going to. One thing I will say is I don't think they're going to stack power play units anymore. They can't do it. That's one thing. If everything's on the table, you can't stack everybody on PP1 because you know it's disappearing in March.
These guys need to play a preseason game. For the love of God.
Yeah.
Like an oasis in the desert. Because all we have right now is a near identical team.
I need Tic-Tac-Tomar, Mikko Kokkonen highlights. Now. That's what I need.
Who's the guy that we get way too excited about this year?
Well, I think Easton Cowan is going to be a guy you get excited about this year.
I need an Alex Steves hat trick.
I think Fraser Minton made the team out of camp last year because they were so not good at center. They're still not that great at center. But I'm not sure that Fraser Minton makes the team out of camp this year. I really don't. Because you're competing with guys like Steven Lorentz, and obviously
Doesn't have a
Domi.
contract.
If he's playing center, Tavares, Holmberg, Dewar. Who else am I missing? There's like a whole bunch of guys, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cowan as a winger is a really tantalizing prospect.
I don't think anything is off the table. Like it's a new coach. Yarncroke might get a look at center. He played there.
And he's good.
And speaking of the undead that always seems to, it just won't die. New head coach. Hey, Johnny's getting up there. But we got this Willie kid who's pretty good. Why don't we try him at center?
They are not trying him at center.
I bet they do.
No way.
In the preseason?
Jesse.
You don't think he centers his brother?
You don't
think he centers
You're
his
the
brother?
biggest William Nylander booster in the city. Are they trying William Nylander at center?
Willie at center, the thing that's failed 14 times, and we're going to try for a 15th time?
They tried Laine at center. I know he's not a leave.
Well, they did this last.
Yeah, the worst organization in the NHL tried Laine at center for several years.
The worst
the
organization?
Blue
CBJ?
Jackets. They're just so poorly run.
Over a period of time, maybe.
William Nylander at center is something they tried last preseason.
Yep.
And then they got to the regular season. They said, "Oh yeah, that failed in the preseason."
Yeah,
Why
but
did they try
what
that
is
in 2017?
the Leafs'
Why would they do it
motto?
again?
What is the Leafs' motto? It is not the passion that unites us all.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What is it now?
The Leafs' motto is, "Hey, but I just got here."
Don't quote the president like that.
The president, the president's boss, the GM, the coach, every year there is some guy in the Leafs organization who can do whatever he wants because, well, hey, I just got here. So Berube could put Willie at center, try him as the backup goalie, his brother's the starter. He can do whatever he wants. Hey, I just got here. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, watch. We're 2 weeks away.
By the way, on Easton Cowan, Trevor Williamson, who's the strength and conditioning guy for the London Knights, he trains all the players there. He did an interview with Mark Masters, and he said that Easton Cowan has a farm boy work ethic. And that he's going to put in the work.
Man, so Easton Cowan makes great hot dogs?
Yeah, and he compared him to Travis Konechny, which I think was
sick.
I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
that.
You know what would have been great? Also getting Travis Konechny, but I'm not upset about it still.
Nah, you got Travis Konechny light, so whatever.
Is this the guy whose neck looks like a quad?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I feel like we were looking up.
Did you look up how he looks?
We were for
he
some reason.
was on video. It's a video interview. We can't play it.
For some reason, we had like the
this-
London Knights staff directory
Is
up.
this the guy you're talking about? This is
No, that's
this
not
is the
him.
video I was watching.
That's not him.
No?
He looks like
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
bench a lot, but that's not him.
No. Okay.
Well,
Let's
Yeah, I
not.
don't-
No, wait, that's Mark Masters, Jesse. Oh, you meant the other guy.
Yeah, it's the other guy. Next.
while your favorite players are preparing for a new hockey season, we know a lot of you are gearing up for a new school year. Do you guys remember that? Like, okay, so you're post-frost, you're like, oh no, I'm going to start getting homework now, aren't I?
I've spent every year since trying to not remember it.
Okay.
First week of the school year is just a write-off.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
just complete write-off.
But the second week, you're like,
you got to
drink
buckle
some
down.
First week is just here are my new shirts.
a lot of the time you might be paired up with strangers for group projects, and there's the stress of exam season that's coming up. It's always sort of lingering in the distance.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why our friends at Excel are launching the Back to S School. S-Cool.
Adam, I don't know if you pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Back to
no.
school.
There you go.
School. I have to pull the C out of it. Well, no, I don't. The H. XL Gum's new Back to School album is available on Spotify, and you can find it by searching XL Gum.
Or just hit the link in the description right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just going to search it on my Spotify on my phone, but I guess you could do that too. This is how young people, guys, the young peeps are using the music.
Like us.
Yeah. So tap in. Not only will you
Maddie,
conquer the
why are you
school year,
laughing?
not only will you conquer the school year with perfect beats, but $1 from every stream goes to Pathways to Education, a national charity helping students in low-income communities overcome barriers to education. And hey, that person you're studying with, they might just appreciate a chew of a couple XL Gum pieces too. So we're and you guys are actually chewing some right now, aren't you,
Jesse.
I have.
Jesse?
I don't know if you can hear that, but yes, I'm chewing XL gum right now.
Let's be honest. There's nothing worse than being in a group project with somebody who has bad breath.
You hear that?
Jesse.
That's some good gum.
Check out XL Gum this year. Also in Leafs land, Mark Giordano's agent came out on Friday and said that he's spoken to teams like the Leafs, depending upon how the Yanni Hakanpää situation works out. The Flames and the Sabres are also on that. Sabres fans were decidedly mad. Oilers fans also got mad because he had spoken to the Edmonton as well, and Oilers fans do not want Mark Giordano.
On principle.
On principle only.
Not because he's bad.
No.
On principle.
And Sabres fans are mad because they didn't do anything this offseason, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And they're like, so you're buying out Jeff Skinner to sign Mark Giordano? Is that what we're doing?
I think you're looking at it totally wrong.
Well, you should look at Sabres Twitter. They're not happy.
No, I know. Well, no, I tweeted it. Dwayne, are you talking about Dwayne?
Yeah, Dwayne was pissed.
I was.
What I love, I don't mind Gio back with the Leafs in some sort of even if he's playing in the AHL, I don't mind.
He's not signing to play in the AHL.
No,
The Flames.
I don't think Mark Giordano is an NHL player anymore.
I don't think so either.
I disagree. I think
he's maybe he's an NHL game player for like 20 games.
this is the thing. This is what I said with Wayne Simmons a few years ago. There's 82 games.
Right.
That's so many games. And Giordano is, if Giordano's in your top 6, you're in shit. In 2024, if he's in your top 6, you're in deep shit. But you're on the second half of a
look at the
back-to-back. There's a couple guys that are hurt. Throw him in.
Look at the Flames top 6 and tell me Mark Giordano couldn't be in that.
Show me.
I'll pull it up.
I didn't research them last night.
No, I know.
I did some other teams.
I don't think the Flames have a lot going on just generally, but you've got Uyghur, Daniel Mironov, Kevin Ball, Rasmus Anderson, Jake Miramanov, excuse me.
Yeah, they got him from Vegas. Yeah.
Jake Bean and Braden Peschel, according to Daily Faceoff. That's just right now.
Or was he the guy they got from the Golden Knights? Or is it both?
Does it matter? Doesn't.
He can play games on that team.
I think he play. Now listen, it doesn't mean he can't play games on any of the teams we're talking about.
You know what you're forgetting?
What?
Every trade deadline teams lose their minds. They want experience.
So he could get flipped.
Even if it's for like a 5th or a 6th, you could do it.
Yeah?
You could do it.
Yeah?
Yes. You get a 40-year-old with a crazy work ethic who's going to block shots with his face and balls. Right?
Tyson
and
Barrie.
You can flip them.
Tyson Barrie was also, it should be noted, offered a PTO to Flames camp. Joel Hanley, who's 33, is on that. And then they have Ilya Solyov, but he is an RFA. Solev.
I don't know. I made that pronunciation up. You could be closer to right.
Okay.
Like, there's a bunch of teams out there that could use him as a 7 or 8. Come on. I don't know. I think people are too down on the guy.
Yeah, and I think probably part of that is, because he did play really well in spurts last year with the Leafs.
Sure.
It was part of the problem was the Leafs had to play him too much.
Yeah, and he got fucking rocked too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he got that bad concussion. I'm trying to remember exactly how he got it. I want to say it was just a freak accident. Like, yeah, he can play for your team, man. He can play for your team. Now, the argument, hey, well, wouldn't that spot be better, given to a younger player to develop them? All right, fine. Stop acting like every team has that, though.
Right.
A lot of teams, this guy. And then that guy plays NHL games, and you're like, oh, not that guy. Not that guy. Regular seasons in November is not preseason.
Right.
You start to realize, they're crazy out of their depth.
Yeah. Listen, and Steve and Jesse, I think, will vouch for us, for all of us here. I want to say that we have seen Martin Marincin play top 4 minutes for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs.
Wasn't Roman Polak a Leaf 3 times?
Yeah. No, but Martin Marincin.
Yes.
Sorry, Roman Polak could play 82 games, and if he was in the right spot, wouldn't look out of place.
Yeah.
Martin Marincin could not.
No.
And
hey, he can play both sides.
And yet, there he was with Jake Gardiner. And so I feel like I'm still okay with Giordano over that. Mm-hmm. I am. Mm-hmm. Still okay with it. And if he signs here, I hope it's one of those deals where like that guy could pass through waivers. I don't think anybody's gonna jump on that. Maybe they would, but
and if they do, you live. You'll survive.
You'll be fine.
I promise you'll be okay. Like the Sabres?
Yeah.
It's fine. What? Either he makes you better or you flip him. Or it expires. Like what are you, a cap team? What's the problem?
Are you saving that for the season preview for the Sabres? Or what are you, a cap team?
What are you like?
But that's not a reason to give a guy the contract.
No, it's not a solid reason. But you also need guys. So not every team has, like, let's say you carry 7 defensemen.
Right.
Not every team carries their 7 best defensemen. Mm-hmm. They have their 5th or 6th guy playing in the minors because that's where they ought to be.
Yeah, because you want them to get playing time.
Yes.
Because you don't get playing time in a press box.
Yeah. So, you know how we were talking about, they were playing this guy too much or that guy too much. You don't want that to be the young guy.
Right.
You don't want to, because you screw up his development. Mark Giordano is a finished package. You are not screwing up his development by putting him in and letting someone else develop. I don't know. I think he can play games. I don't think it's a disaster. I think he can play somewhere.
By the way, Martin Marincin played playoff games for the Toronto Maple Leafs as recently as the Columbus series in the bubble.
My God.
If you're wondering.
He subbed in for Muzzin, didn't he?
He had 3 games. It's technically not the playoffs, but the play-in round where they lost.
Postseason.
He played 3 games in that series.
Gun to my head.
That's 20.
If you asked me to name every Leaf defenseman from that series, I would have taken ages to get to Marty.
So it would have been CC Riley, Hall, Muzzin,
Barry.
Marincin, Barry.
Defensemen who played in that series: Muzzin, Marincin, Barry, Hall, Dermott, CC Riley.
Dermott.
There you go.
We were pretty good.
All of those guys played.
Marincin I would have never got. By the way, I didn't know he played for them this decade. Like, I thought it was over in 18 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I had no idea until I looked at it.
you know what? Remember when we got him from Edmonton, everybody's like, you guys don't even understand what we just got.
Oh, I know.
Depth pickup of the year.
That was the season. That season against Columbus, the COVID season, was the year he scored that insane single-handed goal.
Merrick Malik style.
Vancouver?
Yeah.
No, where
Malik.
he leads the rush and everyone's like, what? And then he rips a shot, hits the post. Everyone goes, what? It comes right back to him and he snipes it on Demko. It was ridiculous. It was a game winner.
I'm grateful for that.
I am too.
Other players in the Columbus series: Spezza, Freddie the Goat, Kerfoot, Tavares, Willie, Matthews, and then we named all the defensemen: Mikheyev, Clifford, Engvall, Andreas Janssen, Robertson played 4 games.
Andreas Janssen
was good. Robertson was good.
1 game, yeah.
Yeah, the last game for some weird reason.
10 minutes and 8 seconds time on.
Why did he even play in that series? He was so injured.
as a going away present in a
Kapanen and
don't get me
Marner.
I
started.
got to be honest with you, with that roster, I'm not totally surprised they didn't win that series.
Yeah. Hey, Kapanen got an OT winner.
Yeah. Kapanen had.
It's a joke.
Actually, oh no, he didn't.
He did in Washington series. He did.
I was about to say.
No, Jim Houston, the Matthews OT winner, he said Kapanen.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know why.
Okay, well,
I guess their numbers end with 4.
We'll always have that game 4 comeback, guys.
Yep.
Always have that game 4. Right now, today, great news. We got PWHL logos and team names officially for the first time. As always happens when new jerseys and new names and everything comes out, some people like, some people don't like. But here are your teams. The Boston Fleet, which I like because it's a harbor. Minnesota Frost because it's cold. Montreal Victoire because they like to win. New York Sirens, I don't know. Ottawa Charge.
New York.
Sirens, though?
Like you always hear sirens in the streets of New York.
That makes sense. Ottawa Charge.
Charge. No.
Charge Lafair. And Toronto Scepters. Now, interestingly, Adam Lascaris, who is a writer here in Toronto, found out that Bauer Hockey had some placeholders available, and we know what some of the other names that were potentially available for all of these teams. So we know Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Boston. Toronto could have been, and this was announced last year and then taken back by somebody who leaked it. Remember, it was supposed to be maybe potentially Toronto Torch.
It wasn't announced. It was just that's the name they used to file the copyright for the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Toronto Sentinels, Scepters, which is what they went with, and the Toronto Tempests. Ottawa could have been the Ottawa Advance. Ottawa Alert, Ottawa Charge, which is what they went with, and the Ottawa Guard. Montreal Lumineers, as in Lumiere.
Like the band?
Well, not Lumineers.
Beauty and the Beast
Lumiere's
character.
like Beauty and the Beast.
Lumineers, yeah.
Lumiere, is he not? Does that mean lights?
Their goal
Lumiere?
song was just like tambourines and stomping.
Montreal Metro, Montreal Echo, and Victoire. Although, honestly, they should have been the Lumieres because that would have been a great goal
Lumineers,
sign.
yeah.
Boston Blitz, Boston Emeralds. I think that makes a lot of sense. Boston Fleet, which is what they went with, in Boston Wicked.
Oh no! Like the musical?
No, I don't think.
I feel like
Ariana
Boston
Grande's their mascot.
Boston
Like,
can
what?
make anything work. I think they would have made it work.
They would have made it work.
Also, I can't help it. Boston Blitz. Boston Blitz. That's an easy goal song.
Yes, absolutely. But
I don't get that one.
So, guys, do you have any
Ballroom Blitz.
Do you have any screaming hot takes on any of the names? Do you care?
Yes.
And what I mean by do you care is like, does it affect you personally that they didn't go with the name you would have gone with, which tends to be the reaction that people have.
So knowing that, right? So people go, that is not the exact name I would have gone with, so I hate it so much, right? Your reaction should be, or okay, or oh, good. Mostly, okay. So, Jesse, can you bring up the list?
No, hold on.
Because I'm going to...
I got to hear Boston Minnesota Frost.
I thought it was interesting because most of the graphics I saw, it's like they separated the good names from the bad names.
Oh.
Okay,
Now-
which ones do you like, Steve?
Boston Fleet, name and logo.
Green too.
Good.
For Boston. That makes sense.
Yeah, name and logo, good. Minnesota
like
Frost.
the bee with the thing.
Yes,
The water.
I like the bee anchor.
The anchor, yeah.
It's cool.
That's cool.
yeah.
You turn it 90 degrees, kind of looks like the Hartford Whalers. I like it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good observation.
There you go.
Love that. Yeah.
Minnesota Frost, name, logo,
Frost to you.
good to okay.
I like it.
I like it.
I like
fan.
it. I like it.
Minnesota, cold.
It is. Hence the frost.
Yes.
You can't call it the Minnesota. I'm just going to scooch by you there. Like you call it the Minnesota Frost. Montreal Victoire. Name
I like that logo
good.
a lot.
Logo great.
That's a great logo.
All
that
doing
is-
very good.
That would work in any era of hockey.
Do you think it looks a little like home plate?
Yes. Yes,
There's
actually.
some sort of military symbol from a video game that I can't quite place that it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Also, home run.
Also a home run. Jesse, like,
Sorry.
it's a shape. Baseball doesn't get the home plate shape.
It's got to
I
be
think they
around
kinda
for
do.
longer.
Yeah. The Montreal Larry Walkers. That's what it should have been.
There it is.
You see?
There it is.
You see?
That'd be a
All
good
right.
one. Yeah.
Now, here we go. New York Sirens.
You don't like this one.
Meh and meh.
Don't love the logo as much as
Don't love the logo. Don't love the name.
But I like the NY. Look at that.
that's cool.
That is, that's cool.
I think the colors will stand out more than what they do digitally. Like I think it'll look good on the ice. That's an interesting color combination.
So they took the color combos of the New York Liberty, the WNBA team.
Oh,
yeah.
smart.
Okay. I'll say this. Not a huge fan. I think the jersey has potential.
I think that
The jersey has real potential.
I'm really surprised they didn't go with like a light though, like a a siren light, like you see, or like
like a
scoring
goal light.
a goal light.
Yeah.
But
No, why don't you just make it look like the logo's vibrating?
I think that's supposed to be the light. It's the S is kind of like, like a light, this thing.
is that why there's the S?
Yeah, that's why the light reverberates like
Okay.
that. That's
Is it
or the
like a
light, the
cologne
siren
commercial
does
where
that.
you can't properly show how something smells in a commercial? So you're trying to show how something sounds
Yeah.
in a logo?
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't mind this at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
I like the siren.
It's not my favorite one so far. Montreal's is. I loved the Ottawa one because somebody said congratulations to the Calgary Flames and Cleveland Cavaliers for giving birth on their first child. Oh my goodness, dude! Because
it does look like the Cavs and then Flames.
Ottawa Charge.
Oh god.
I forget who tweeted that. I apologize if it was you.
There it is.
Man, it does look like the Cavs and Flames logo. They're absolutely right.
Ottawa Charge. Name, meh to okay. Logo, I hate to say it. That's an oof from me, dog.
I don't mind it.
That's an oof.
Even though it's a little similar to both of those logos, it doesn't make it bad. I
might-
love the Flames logo. I don't
Toronto's-
mind the Cavs logo. What's wrong with it?
Toronto's getting killed right now, that might be the worst.
And I also think that looks like a bear paw to me. And I feel like that's going to be the charge is like a bear or something. Like they're the bitch charging bear or something. See, there's 5.
Then make it a bear.
Yeah, you think that's like a claw.
I think so. I think that's what that is.
Like, this is why I don't want to, like, overly love the ones that I think are good and overly hate the ones that I don't like that much, because I want to see what it looks like on a jersey. Like I see the New York Sirens and I go, I don't love it, but the jersey could look sick.
It could be amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
also a color combo we've never seen in hockey. The New York one.
Not that
I think it's so sick.
I like it. But Charge.
You could say Seattle kind of has.
Oh,
those
yeah.
colors.
Yeah,
They don't have the gold, obviously, but they have that shade of blue and blue.
Is that a sea foam?
Yeah. They do
I would
those.
say Seafoam.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Steve, you're going through all them all. You got to Charge.
Toronto Scepters. I hate to say it. I think that's a double oof.
I think you're wrong. I
think you're wrong,
absolutely
too.
love it.
Name and logo oof.
First off, you need to do blue.
Yep.
Because even
Yeah.
the Raptors have blue jerseys. Toronto's a blue town.
Yes.
They almost renamed the Raptors Huskies like 10 years ago. And the second
God.
thing is,
They
you
didn't.
guys, I know you're looking at the Scepters name and going, that's weird. I would never select that. And I get that. That's
I
how
like
people
it.
react. I like that too, Jesse. Here's what you're underrating.
The Taylor
You
Swift logo.
need, the Toronto team last year had,
It's literally what she wore. Sorry.
who wore?
Taylor Swift. I'm going to send it to Jesse.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
shocking.
Oh, I see the Taylor Swift. Okay, fair.
I don't think she owns TS.
No, but just wait.
You need to be looking at, for the Toronto team, who have extremely hardcore fans. Like the fans for the PWHL Toronto team were Montreal, Toronto, known as like, I think some of the best fans in the league.
Of course.
And they both set attendance records last year.
Listen, I think the team's going to be good.
I think what you're underrating is what this allows fans to do when they show up to the arena in royal gear.
Show up
like
with-
you're going to have people dressed as like kings and queens with big royal scepters.
Show up as what?
Kings and queens.
They could have just been...
No, I like this. I think this is cool. There's a lot of, if you're a fan of this team, there's a lot of creativity here. And I also think that blue and gold is going to look sick together.
Adam, can you give us the names again for Toronto that did not get picked?
Sure, I can. Give
That'd
me
be-
one
that'd be
moment. Let me
very
pull it up.
interesting.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, because
So,
I want
here's the
to
thing.
contrast and compare.
First one
since
would have
we're
been the
so
torch.
hot and heated over Scepters.
Torch.
Torch?
It's just got nothing to do with Toronto.
Yeah, there's no torch in Toronto. If it was the Flames, like I can understand the
Yeah.
torch because the Olympics and
Okay,
all that.
so torch.
Torch, Sentinels. So
Sentinel?
a Sentinel,
It's like a soldier.
yeah, essentially. I'm gonna,
Is it?
Eh.
I don't even know what that is.
Soldier or guard whose job is to stand and keep watch. The
Should have had the Sentinels and the Ottawa Guard.
the Scepters, and then the Tempest, which there are no Tempests in Toronto. So it would have been like it would have been kind of neat, like a water spinning logo or whatever. But like, just like with the Raptors, what did a raptor have to do with the city of Toronto? They've found no raptor bones here. Jurassic Park was just happened to be the most popular movie in the freaking world right then. There are Blue Jays in Toronto, and TFC is just a football club. There are no, so I am fully on board with the Raptor name. I love the Raptor name. I always have. I thought that was cool. I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. Crazy. I think Scepters is something that's going to sink in quickly. People are going to love this name.
I hope so.
Jess?
My whole thing with team names is how little they matter.
They don't.
They don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Like the 76ers are just a number.
The 67s.
The 67s are a number.
The Expos.
That's so bad.
One of the most popular teams in any sport in North America are called the Red Sox.
The Lakers are named after the lakes in Minnesota. The Utah Jazz are named after jazz music in New Orleans.
How about the Packers? Woo!
I think it just there's just no at the end of the day, the team name becomes what the team is.
That's
and
right.
You think of like, oh, they're the Scepters. If they win 5 championships, you're like, yeah, the fucking Scepters are champions. They're the New York Yankees of this sport. It's so irrelevant at the end of the day. So we get all worked up about this name on paper. How does it look? How does it feel? It's good.
Can I be straight with
It's a name.
What, you don't like the Nets?
They're named after the object of just the playing surface.
What about the Toronto
Such
Pucks?
a bad name. They're so
garbage.
There are 2 teams in baseball named after socks. There's a red sock and a white sock. What the hell is that?
Which do you prefer?
That's the
What side are you
dumbest
on?
thing on earth. But they're the Boston Red Sox. They're the king of this sport in
Yes.
terms of the last couple years of just running after championships after their long streak of never winning anything. Now they're the cream of the crop, and they're the Red Sox and all this legacy of Fenway Park. Who cares that they're named after clothing?
If I had come
Jesse,
to this
you don't
room-
like the Houston Texans?
Like,
Yeah,
which
whoa.
is just what people from Houston are called.
The Canadians?
Well,
That's just people
Habitant, first
people from Canada?
First French people in Canada.
You have the Canadians and the Canucks. The Canucks are just another word for
same league.
are
Like,
not
what?
like Canadian in the traditional sense. They are.
Okay.
And that's the
Fair,
it's an
sure.
identity having to do specifically with Quebec.
Sure.
So I guess what we're saying here is, listen, you're asking for first impressions. I don't like the logo. I don't like the name. But
I'm gonna show you a picture of a sock.
yeah, but they'll live
Yeah, you ever
on
seen a
account of some of the
Have you
most
seen a sock
established
before?
brands
You ever
in
seen a
North American
sock?
sports are garbage.
Can I-
They're gonna be a top 10 franchise in any sport ever. They're gonna be worth $1 billion. They're a sock.
Jesse, what's dumber, the Lakers or the Clippers?
I don't even know what is
a Clipper
They
is
both suck a lot.
Clippers are a sailboat, but they were San Diego, and there's a lot of sailing that goes on in San Diego.
Yeah.
There's also a big Navy presence in San Diego. So when they were named in the late 60s, early 70s, it made sense because there's a lot of and like there's like
you know
a
that
and
offhand?
Ballmer has
I don't know.
Steve Ballmer has rebranded them to have a Navy thing in the new logo that's
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah, so there's like a
Yeah.
water Navy thing going
when Donald Sterling bought them because he was a psychopath, he moved them to LA. But like in San Diego, that made a lot of sense. When you read the Showtime book, which is really, really good, they talk about one of the trades between the two teams and how the owners knew each other. And even back then, you're like, wow, Donald Sterling sucked. Holy shit. How was this out in the open for so long and nobody said anything? I think, just like with a band, like if I walked in here, speaking of the Lumineers, and I said, guys, I've started a band this weekend. And you'd be like, great, did you come up with a name? And I'd be like, yeah, the Lumineers. You guys have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Band name, every band name is so bad.
Well,
When you
Beatles,
just-
Rolling Stones.
Well, the Beatles are a fucking pun, right?
Yeah, it's B-E-A-T rather than B-E-E-T.
Beatles, yeah. Like,
Yeah, the
I
Rolling
was
because of
36 years old the day I discovered.
yeah. So yeah, I was like, I don't know, like half a decade ago,
Yeah.
somebody told me that, and I was like, what? Like Beatles?
B-E-A-T.
Yeah,
rather than B-E-E-T.
They're not. They're because yeah.
Do you know how
They're
many people are just
stupid.
discovering this for the first
It's just
time?
if you didn't know, the Beatles that's a bad name, but they're the fucking Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're a bad pun.
yeah. Yeah.
Who cares?
Like, there's also like
Sex Pistol?
Actually, I kind of like that because they were named after a sex shop in London in 1977. They were started.
No, if Adam
they were
walked
started
in
by a sex.
and Adam said, "My name is Sex Pistols," we'd laugh at him.
no,
but
my new nickname is Johnny Rotten. Actually,
no, it's like you named your band after two things that in the 70s made old people gasp.
yeah.
Hey, Sex Pistols! Like just
Yeah.
double gasp.
And we have a song called "God Save the Queen," but
Oh.
really, it's a big middle finger.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's blasphemous! You can't do that. That's so extreme for today in this day and age. And you do that today, and it's like, all right, edgelord.
Yeah. We're a little more cynical today. I think, yeah. The performance
cares?
becomes the name.
Yeah.
Like, think, and we'll do this one more time. One more example of this.
It's just we can do this all day.
I know. But, so let's think expansion, early 2000s. Predators, Thrashers,
Yo,
Blue Jackets,
okay,
and
all right.
who was the other one? Predators, Flashers,
Wild?
Wild.
NHL's expanding today. Today. Predators doesn't get past, hey, I have an idea.
No way.
No.
Not even.
imagine the memes?
Unfortunately,
The memes would have been
How is that
unfortunately,
a team?
a bunch of bad people have taken over the name Predators.
That's
They
right.
have won.
That's
There were Predators
They
back
won.
when they made the national.
I think
No,
they
but
found-
not as like well known now.
no Chris Hansen show.
Yeah.
Like, let's take a seat right here.
Yeah.
Like, none of that. But I think they did find saber-toothed tiger bones.
They've
in
taken
the
back
area.
the
They did.
name.
Yeah.
Call them the Tigers.
Now, the Minnesota Wild was an easy one. Just go back to the North Stars, right? Because
Yeah.
you have clear nights when it's cold.
No.
So you see the North Star.
No.
That makes
no,
sense.
That's not you can't do that. It's not their franchise. The Dallas Stars own that name.
That's right. That's right. And the Coyotes own the Jets name, but here we are, or they used to.
Such a good discussion.
And then the Blue Jackets.
All the names suck.
Yeah, that was my whole point about this thing. You being like, oh, I don't like Scepter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They all stink. You're
Every
so
team
right.
name in every sport, they all suck. There's names. It becomes what they becomes the team name. That's what you
right.
think of them.
Oh God. And you look at some of the things
Like the Boston Bruins. Did you have to be difficult? Why not the Boston Bears?
I've never heard anyone
never-
be like, I saw a Bruin.
Wow, there was a Bruin over there.
Yeah. Oh, careful walking your dog today. There's a Bruin watch.
Never.
Do you know why some people call them the New York Football Giants?
Yeah, why do they do that? I don't know that.
Because for the long time, the San Francisco Giants played in New York. They were the Brooklyn Giants. And there was 2 teams in the city called the same name. And they had to call the football Giants the New York Football Giants because the team across the city played also in the same city.
Whoa.
Because they had the same name. So we had the baseball Giants and the football Giants. Then eventually the Brooklyn Giants moved to San Francisco and they could drop the football Giants moniker.
It's shocking from that era that we have a name controversy and it doesn't have to do with racist. Shocking.
You know how much worse Florida Hockey Panthers sounds?
Could you imagine if a basketball, the Toronto Raptors were named the Maple Leafs?
Or the Toronto Basketball Raptors?
That's what they had.
We have.
They'd be the Toronto Basketball Maple Leafs.
There is a
Because there'd be 2 Maple
there is a
Leafs.
semi-pro league. There is a semi-pro league with a baseball team in Toronto called the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
The former Lakers owner used to own them too because he was from Toronto before he sold to the Bus family.
And having a team called the Lakers would make so much more sense here. Because we have them.
Lakes.
Yeah. LA's losing all their lakes, unfortunately.
There's no LA Pacific Oceans.
LA's like
I don't know.
You know what, Jesse? It's a great name, great logo.
Thank you.
What's your favorite part about traveling? Is it the traveling?
It's food.
Oh, it's the food.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
it's food.
My favorite part is how calories don't count.
Yeah.
They don't.
That's
They
true.
don't,
That's a
yeah.
good point. The worst part, I would say, roaming fees.
Oh, easily.
Now, Maddie, our producer, just got back from a 7-week European extravaganza. Yeah, I was watching her TikToks the whole time.
That's
Super
lucky.
jealous.
That's
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've ever lost or been abroad or badly needed an internet connection, no Wi-Fi spot in sight, you'll understand what a difference a local SIM card can make. And with Saley from NordVPN, you can get that. Saley is an eSIM that can be installed only once. It eliminates the need to get new SIM cards in each country. You save time. You don't wait in line. Avoid scams. Avoid scammers selling fake SIM cards outside train stations and airports, which you see all the time.
Don't get scammed.
It minimizes your roaming fees, significantly reduces or eliminates them completely, depending upon your plan. And if you want to stay connected, it's the thing to do. It's compatible with everything. All Saley eSIM plans are compatible with iOS and Android devices. 24/7 support, chat support available 24/7, full refund if you need it. And
Adam,
what?
do you think Steve could spell Saley?
I'd like to know. Steve,
Give it to us.
Can you?
Stop thinking so hard. Just spell it.
SAYLEIGH.
No.
No?
No. Okay,
Spell
so
it.
Saley, as in sale, SAILY.com/dangle. Use the code DANGLE,
more time.
DANGLE, to get exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Again, that's Saley, like sail.
Yeah, but there's 2 sails. You should say sail like a boat.
Sail like a boat because you're on vacation. SAILY.com/dangle. We're going to give you an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Update your travel experience without roaming fees.
/ what?
Dangle.
SAY.
Dangle.
You didn't know.
Dangle.
Careful. Heads up. Whoa there. It's a new hockey season just around the corner, and that means you've got precious little time to enjoy the warm summer weather and cold drinks with your friends. But the good news is SDP and Muskoka Brewery are tagging up. We're tagging up.
Yeah?
We're teaming up.
Teaming up.
We're getting together.
Teaming the tag.
You be on the lookout for our social media posts because you're going to need to tag your friend in it to get a Tread Lightly prize pack. Ontario only 18 plus. It's a locally made light beer crafted in the heart of Muskoka. Anyone whose go-to is a light beer, like me, from the big brewers, you're going to enjoy a similar taste and price point. But let me tell you this, okay? It's available at all LCBO beer store and grocery stores, and now convenience stores. It's the perfect light beer for game day, and it works all year round. What? Well, it is. It's available. It is available in the stores.
It is.
It is.
totally.
Pair with game day essentials. They say this beer goes best with buffalo chicken wings, fries, or a juicy cheeseburger, or potentially chips and salsa. Do you like any of those things?
I do, but Adam, there's something really wrong with this beer that I think we should be talking about.
What is it?
It made me shrink. Look how small I am holding this beer on camera. Oh, wait. I didn't shrink. It's just an extra tall can.
Exactly.
568 milliliters to be exact.
4% alcohol by volume, light lager, all natural ingredients, made in Muskoka, a great Canadian beer. It's Muskoka Brewery's Tread Lightly. Check it out. Do you want to see? Do you want to see a video of the Utah HC? Because I know we can run this because it's promotional.
Oh, okay.
And I ran this by Jesse. Couple promotional videos.
Yeah, we can run this one.
Okay.
Just without sound.
The first one. The first one is the jerseys on the ice. A lot of people criticize jerseys before they see them on the ice, and I've made that mistake before, and boy, am I wrong. So I want to see them on the ice. So Jesse, I just sent you the video for the ice one, and then we're going to do center ice because they revealed their center ice thing, lest it be leaked and somebody have to be fired, a la the Panthers.
And not get a ring or maybe get one.
So which one do you want to play first?
Let's do the jerseys first because they just tweeted. They were just tweeted like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. First sweaters in team history. No sound, so Steve, you can talk about it. Describe it for all of the audio.
All right, here we go.
Lasers.
You're going to do this as like cherry?
Describe video.
Yeah, all right, there we go. We got we got the Utah team over here.
No, keep it going.
Okay, so they got the inaugural season patch, right? Because they this guy here, you know. But they came from Arizona, right? But so here's a jersey that zooming in on it. No, they zoom out, right? So you can see it. Utah, UTAH. That's how you spell it. They got them stopping. Look at that. They took that from Rock'em Sock'em 8. Mountains, they got those there, you know.
Jesse, can you go back to the final frame right before the mountain?
My Don Cherry's a little rough.
Just pause it there because the guys are skating towards the camera.
When it comes back.
All right. It'll be like second 30 or something like that.
Okay. And here's the jersey.
Okay,
And
stop there. That's the jersey.
Okay.
Kind of already knew.
So it's a black jersey. Yeah. That's it.
It's the Tampa Bay Lightning jersey, which is the takeoff on the Leafs jersey.
It's a black jersey. At the bottom, there's a white stripe, thin little black stripe, and then what are we going to call that? Powder blue?
Powder blue.
Yeah.
Powder blue stripe.
LA Chargers.
At the elbow, there's a thick blue stripe, little black one, thick white one, little black one, thick blue one again.
That's the patch.
It is the most EASHL ass jersey I think I've ever seen. But that is because they literally
they didn't have time.
Listen,
they didn't have time.
Remember we had the conversation with the Carolina jerseys? Like, are these jerseys good or do we just like red? You know what I mean?
Yeah, where it said Canes.
Yeah, black jerseys look awesome. That's why nearly every team has one.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to be kind of milquetoast because you don't have a bloody name, you might as well look like Team Iceland from the Mighty Ducks movies, right? And have the Gunnar Stahl ass jerseys and look kind of cool, and it'll be a fun little collector's item.
Because it's only going to last the year. I mean, I think it might be the third jersey next year, but you know, it's like the PWHL. Yeah. They didn't have time to get the names out there. And here's the problem, guys. It's not that they don't have time to come up with a good name. They don't have time to print them. They don't have time to get the jerseys and the equipment and everything ready for market, for sale, for the teams, for all that sort of thing. It takes more time. I bet they already know the name right now. But that'll be released maybe we'll be able to call them something other than Utah HC come start of the season. I think that's a great time to reveal a logo that will be available for purchase next year and a great time to say, here's our new brand.
Oh, you think they're going to do it in the next 6 weeks?
I think they would do it opening night.
What, the rebrand?
Yeah, well, not the they're not going to wear it on the jersey, but it's like, here's our name.
Really?
I don't think so.
Why
I
not?
think they're going to sit on it.
Do you know
They might
something?
make the decision by then.
Do you know something?
I don't know something. I don't actually know something.
Okay.
Just what I would do.
This is here I am making it about me. Here we go. My book needed to be sent to the printer 3 months ahead of time. There was a moment where they're like, literally, if you don't get this to us right now, it's not coming.
We're going to delay it a year.
Yeah. And that's when it needed to be sent to the printer, which means I needed to be done at least, 30, 40, 50 days before that. So I can only imagine how many NHL jerseys you would have to print and how far ahead of time and all the shirts and all the blah, 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 blah.
Well, and you know
So
that
I get
everybody
it.
at the Delta Center on night one needs to have a jersey on.
Yes.
They're so pumped to have that team there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Are any of the teams' new jerseys out? The other day I went to go buy 2 new Leaf jerseys because I wanted them for my videos, and I couldn't find the new ones.
The new Fanatics ones? I haven't seen them. The NHL store? Did you go there?
I went to the Leafs one.
Oh.
You would think if anyone would have them, it's them.
I would have thought the NHL store would have them. I don't know. I don't know when those come out. Iceletics or something. We should. Those guys that run the YouTube channel. We need to know.
Yeah,
we need to know.
All that to say, meh.
Now let's.
But like we knew it,
Jesse.
so.
Let's look at center ice when you get the opportunity because.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of people are saying the Utah jersey is a direct ripoff of the WHL's Winnipeg ice, which I will also send to Jesse. And Steve probably knows from his brain what that looks like. But if you're a normal human being like us, you probably don't necessarily know. So here's what the center ice looks like.
The Winnipeg Ice stole their team from Kootenay. Yeah, the Kootenay Ice.
Okay, so here's
there it is.
here's them painting the logo. So
Look at that.
Where's Don Cherry on this one again?
inaugural season logo. That's cool.
I like, it's a cool logo, and I like that Utah is sticking with the trend this year of let's make the puck at center ice as hard to identify as possible.
Oh, here's the thing. What age were you when you learned that the ice logos aren't painted on and they're actually just printed and then stuck underneath?
So that wasn't the case when we were growing up.
I've never seen this.
They were actually painted before. They used to be painted.
Yeah,
when we were
sure.
in the 90s, they were painted. Now they are. Yeah,
I don't know when they started this.
Yeah, so like if you go to your regular rink, it's gonna mostly be painted. Right?
Yeah.
But for a long time now, the NHL's or most like high end rinks have switched to you print this out, you put it together, you stick it under the ice, and then it stays there all season. You put the
I didn't
ice
know that.
over it, and then you keep scraping over it all season long.
Had no idea.
No? Oh,
idea.
well, there you go.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it before.
I've seen a bunch of TikToks, and there's always comments about like I never knew that.
So this is a cool crest. I wonder if that logo is center ice. Is it that little blue dot above? Is that where? Okay, that's where it is. I was like,
Exactly.
I wondered
where the hell is center
where is
ice?
center ice. Yeah, they would have been better making center ice a white little
Red or anything.
Yeah,
You're right.
So what-
where is center ice?
just above the Utah Hockey Club logo.
Yeah, this right here.
Yeah, that's center ice.
Okay.
Can you zoom in?
I'll
Can't see it.
I'll show you.
Where does
It's right there.
Oh, there
that's
it
what
is.
it looks like.
Well, when you zoom out, you can't bloody see it.
Well, you're not looking at it from up there.
It's also
Yeah, you are. That's what the
The
podcast
people
camera's
who
gonna
need
look
to
like.
see it are on the ice.
Yeah, they'll see it down there.
Like you don't. Why do you need
The fans don't need to see it.
for what?
What do you need to see?
What do you mean for what?
You don't
The
see the
little
pocket
dot?
center ice for
I
face
want
off.
the center ice nipple.
At what point in the game is knowing where that dot is relevant?
I need to know where to look when
Name the
overtime
parts
starts.
of a hockey game.
I'm brand new to hockey. Maybe I'm going to be looking like behind me,
Sheldon.
like at the person.
No.
You know
Steve.
what? All the time.
Name one.
Shelly, well, we lost the puck at center ice last year, and we can't.
Yeah, but you
we
can
didn't
see
win.
Can't
the
get it back.
line is what's important. The red line is there.
I need to know where David Camp is starting overtime. All right, it's important.
They're relevant.
Don't give me
You
silence.
can see it.
Don't give me silence.
I think
It was
it'd be
funny.
fine.
You can completely see it.
It was funny. It was-
I like that they're going inaugural logo.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
yeah, but now you get to make all your merch black, which is cool, and everyone likes. And you can wear your hockey merch anywhere, basically. No, it's fine. Considering they don't have a name, it's fine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There you go. Very cool.
Yep. Yay. Yay.
You seem kind of indifferent.
Yeah, because they're called Utah.
HC. Yeah.
No, they're called Utah.
They're called the Utah HC.
No.
What is
No, but they
what
are,
is
though.
this point?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
They are called Utah HC.
Yeah, why are you being
Like the Toronto Maple Leafs are Toronto Maple Leafs HC. They are Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey
Like
Club.
last year, hey, we're PWHL Toronto. Okay.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have time.
No, you're Toronto.
Oh, you're just going to
Play in you're Toronto of the PWHL.
gonna call them top.
I'm not saying the league name before both of you play.
I don't understand.
I'm going to call them
Come on.
Ta.
I'm watching a PWHL game between Boston and Toronto. I'm not watching PWHL Boston play PWHL Toronto.
What's next?
Stop it.
What's next is it's just to update you on the Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau story. Pearl Jam honored them in Philadelphia over the weekend, which I think was really, really cool. You can see the video of that on Twitter. It's out there. In Philadelphia today, the funeral for both Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau will take place. Brad Treliving is expected to be in attendance. Obviously, worked very closely with Johnny Gaudreau for years and years and years. Obviously, when you watch this episode, there'll probably be a lot more on this. There'll probably be some videos of
Coming
speeches
out
and
of
things.
the funeral.
Yeah. But as of noon on Monday, we don't have anything. So I just thought we should make note of it.
We can always come back on Wednesday and chat about
100%. Yeah. So I want to actually get into some of the stuff you may have missed. Tim Stützle has made some news recently. And it's because he switched agents and people immediately went, what, do you want to leave? And I think it speaks to and I get this, the jumpiness in Ottawa. You know, they had, especially with guy who went to Detroit, scores a lot of goals. Why am I losing my mind?
Alfredson?
No. No, the guy who recently...
DeBrincat.
DeBrincat.
Sorry, this has happened a couple times.
There have been some notable defections from Ottawa in their history. Like starting with guys like Alexei Yashin.
Yes.
And I don't blame Ottawa because, you know, as a Raptors fan, I've seen that. But Timmy Stützle said basically he was repped by Ben Hankinson of Octagon, who has some pretty serious clients, and has now moved over to Claude Lemieux. And apparently this is more due to the fact that there will be more European branding opportunities, he believes. So ways to make money and like sell bread in a German grocery store like John Tavares does here.
So we went to Claude Lemieux for that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more spread. I have no idea. I don't know the agent game that well.
I thought Ben Hawkinson was a lot more connected over there.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
But all I am saying is Tim Stützle is on the record saying, no, I don't want to leave. This was just a business decision.
Can you on the next AP ask him about that? Like why a player might mid-contract go to a new agent?
I, of course, can do it. I absolutely can do that.
Because, no, I understand Sens fans going, what is that all about? He's
I get that.
long-term deal. Why?
Yep, I completely get it. Now, his deal doesn't expire till the end of the 2031 season, so he's okay. But just to give you an idea of the client list that Ben Hankinson has is Jake Gensel, Tim Stützle, because he's still, as the agent who signed that deal, he'll get paid the entire time. When you get,
he gets the whole,
you get the whole shebang. So
Good
when
for
you
him.
sign the deal as the agent, doesn't matter if the client leaves. That your new agent will, like, let's say Claude Lemieux goes and gets Tim Stützle a really great, like I said, Dempster's deal in Germany,
Sure.
or a beer deal or whatever.
Sure.
Lemieux will take his cut of that, but he will not take, from what I understand, the cut of the Stützle.
So you got to really want it because you're then paying two agents.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan McDonough is on there. Brock Besser, who's due for a new contract here pretty soon. Braden Shen, Brock Nelson, Darcy Kemper, Nick Jensen, Jake Ottinger, Thomas Novak, Luke Shen, Noah Cates, Nick Bukestad.
What is this a list of?
This is a list of Ben Hankinson's clients, and then I'll go to Claude Lemieux. So
Lemieux's so much newer.
yeah.
He's way newer.
So hold on. I don't know why it's not coming up here. He is newer, and I wonder. I don't know what the reasoning would be beyond that, but that's what's being reported in TSN this morning. So
Well-
I just think it's good for Ottawa fans to know.
Look at it this way. Smaller client list, right?
Right.
This is one of the things I keep saying with Pat Brisson is I'm like, how could he possibly represent? He's got like 50 clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't he work for CAA?
Yeah,
so
and
he's got a
So he
staff.
doesn't represent them.
No, he's
you
got a
know?
staff.
Yeah,
What's crazy
that's
is
different.
Claude Lemieux's had a really good run lately. I'm going to run you through some of the deals he has.
Okay.
Timo Meier, Detroit.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Hampus
Detroit?
Lindholm. Yeah, not Detroit. Excuse me, Jersey. Excuse me.
Oh, I was like, when in the off season?
I'm on daytime cold meds today, so I apologize. Timo Meier, Hampus Lindholm, Boston, Joel Eriksson Ek, Wild, Ricard Raquel, Rasmus Anderson, Freddie Anderson, all the Andersons, Pierre Engvall, Jack Roslovic,
Big deal.
Oscar Sundquist, Fabian Zetterlund, Victor Olofsson. So
That's a pretty good
he's
list.
been having a pretty good run recently. So
He has not been at this long.
no, he hasn't.
think.
He
Wow.
hasn't.
Wow.
So anyway, thought that was interesting.
list.
And Sens fans, you needn't worry.
All right, sidebar to Tim Stützle.
Hit me.
On July 3rd, 2 days after free agency, he posted on Instagram that he picked up his new Porsche in Germany. Adam, what do you think of, this is a brief car corner. Adam, what do you think about Tim Stützle's purchase this offseason?
I think that good for you, man. You can never go wrong with a 911. You just can't. And if you can afford the maintenance fees when they get older, or if you're Tim Stützle, you lease it for a couple of years and you give it back and get a new one. The only issue with German brands is importing the parts. That's how it's just very expensive. Audi, Porsche, Volkswagen.
He bought it in Germany.
Yeah, so he's probably keeping it there.
There's no imports.
Well, exactly. So it's probably cheaper.
I assume he goes back and he drives it there. You know,
Jesse, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they probably gave it to him and said, please do this Instagram post and we'll kick in maintenance too. Right? So I doubt he's paying anything. But yeah, you asked me what I think of a Porsche 911. I think they're fantastic. Are they my favorite car on the road? No. But I think they're amazing cars. I just wouldn't. I would have them in my top 5. I just wouldn't. I'm partial to other cars.
Okay, top 5, but not.
Yeah. I think they're an amazing brand with a ton of history, and you cannot go wrong. That car has been one of the sturdiest sports cars out there for years. And listen, the thing with Porsches that are so interesting is that in order now to get the top of the line Porsche, you have to have gotten a Porsche from a dealership several different times before they'll allow you, because they get an allotment of like the top line cars. So if you're super rich, a Porsche dealership will be like, yeah, that's super cool that you want the new Spider, whatever it is, but you can't have it. You haven't been a client here long enough. We're going to give it to this guy who's already spent several $1 million with us. That guy will get it. And maybe
Porsche VIP?
maybe in a couple of years, you'll get it. Yeah, it's like a Ferrari. You can't buy a Ferrari unless you already own a Ferrari. And how do you own a Ferrari? You have to buy a used Ferrari.
Oh, well, there goes my plan.
Yeah.
Sorry. You can't just walk into a dealership and be like, I would like a Ferrari, please. Brand new.
Oh,
yeah.
Wish I knew that
G-Wagons as well.
Walking in and making a fool of myself. Wish I knew that.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy helicopters off the lot, right, Steve? You know about that.
Well,
Hey, do you have lots of like nefarious Saudi money
I do.
from a league you promoted? We know that based on nothing.
very good color.
Yeah, that was good catch,
for a
I like
Porsche.
that.
Yeah.
Would you get, okay, guys, if you, and I know Steve doesn't care about cars at all, but if you had to get a Porsche, Steve, God forbid, would you get it in black or would you get it in a different color?
I'd get it in the one that can fit 2 car seats in the back.
Oh, there is one for that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. There's
Oh.
a 4-door Porsche now.
Can I
Just-
get Leafs blue?
You can also get an SUV, but yeah, if you're gonna get a 911 just for Steve,
Is it? That's that car?
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Gray.
Great.
Okay. Fuck you.
Jesse, what would you get?
Did you what? Adam, you hate
Gray.
that?
That's what we
Why?
need. The world needs another gray car. Wow. Another, please. Give me more gray cars.
My first car was gray, and I called it the Silver Bullet.
Oh, there you go. Jesse, what about you?
Something I like a dark green would be really nice.
Ooh.
Like
a forest green?
Yeah, and a forest green. That would be cool.
I like that, Jesse. Very nice. Very nice.
It's a completely opposite reaction.
I know, because it's... Oh, I'm going to get gray.
I originally said, could I get it in Leafs blue?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can get a nice midnight blue on them, too. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Sparkles.
All right.
Very nice.
Very nice, or don't you mean, fuck you, Steve?
Not gray. Just not gray. I will not let you.
If anybody out there works for a Porsche dealership, we are looking for a car sponsor.
You know what? I'm open for a Porsche.
Yeah.
For sure. Always open to it.
If you just happen to be listening and you work at a Porsche dealership,
Yeah.
in the greater Toronto area,
That's right.
we would love your business.
Here, I even know your
Hey,
catchphrase.
it doesn't have to be the greater. It could be anywhere. I don't.
Yeah, no, it could be in Germany.
Could be in Germany.
Yeah. German Porsche.
Tim Stützle, einst ein Deutscher,
Okay.
Eisenhockey player. Bundesbeat.
All right, well, there goes the fucking
Yeah,
deal.
I think,
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, that I was reading from his direct thing. Anyway,
Yeah, you were doing a great job.
thank you.
Holy shit, that's a long word. Sportwagen cone.
By the way, they spell
right.
Canada with a K. Didn't know that.
Next up.
Beckett Seneca.
no,
number
you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
Beckett Seneca, as if the Ducks' luck couldn't get worse. They didn't get the first overall pick. They still ended up with Beckett Seneca at 3. He is now out for 6 to 8 weeks. And that's not really what you want when you're trying to build hype around a team that's probably not going to be that good.
Was he going to make the team?
Well, that was my question, because they're not great. And do you want to expose him to that? But the other thing is, are you hoping that are you hoping that he is on the team? Like he was OHL last year. What's he got to learn
I
in the
think
OHL?
it's more about the development curve is now messed up.
Yes.
You drafted this kid 3rd overall
Yep.
this past draft.
And he looked the most surprised I've ever seen a draft pick ever.
Yeah, he was shocked when they called his name. But if you're a Ducks fan, first of all, you're like, oh my God, we got this great new pick. And then you hear he's injured before even training camp starts. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Things can't get any worse. And then if you're management, you're like, this is really unfortunate because we clearly we have a plan for all of our prospects. You know, you go in, you come to rookie camp, you might come to NHL training camp, you train with all the guys, and now all of that shot. And it's going to be like you lost a year of this kid's career based on if this is a long-term injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. It does put him behind the 8 ball a bit. You really want to see a huge step in the year after you're drafted. Maybe it just makes the development curve a little more clear. Like, oh yeah, this guy has a chance at making the team. Just send him back to Oshawa.
Yeah, now it's all over.
Yeah.
Now it's sit and just cook for a little more.
Send him back to Oshawa. I mean, geez, that team's could be pretty friggin' good, especially on D. You got at least 2 first-round picks back there with Danford and Seneca, right? I'm just selfish. I want to go watch them.
You should drive down and watch them together.
I'll drive down.
all
I
go.
might even take the train. No,
We should all go and do an event in Oshawa.
Oh,
we
shoot.
should.
Oh, dude, why are you looking at this? What are you looking at?
Nothing.
What are you looking at?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
It's unfortunate for the kid.
Yeah.
You don't want injuries to happen. And it sucks for if you're a Ducks fan. You're like, that's our top prospect.
You are selling hope right now.
Yeah.
Right? And
the Hope just got a leg injury.
I would have loved to see
Is it a leg?
Hope at rookie camp.
Fractured foot, I want to say.
Foot? Yeah.
Let me just pull it up here.
Fractured
It was like an off-season training injury.
Yeah. That's not quick.
Fractured foot in off-season training. This also goes along with goaltender Thomas Schueneck, who had undergone successful surgery to repair an ACL. He's going to be out 6 to 8 months. He's 21, started 29 games in the AHL last year with a .910 save percentage. So,
That hurts.
That sucks.
Goalie torn ACL.
Ruptured. I don't know what that means. I don't think it's fully torn. I don't know what ruptured means versus torn, but I can check.
I've never heard ruptured.
What is the difference between a ruptured?
I think where that has the opportunity to be an added difficulty for the Ducks. Not that they have expectations this year, like basically at all.
Oh, a complete tear of the ACL is also known as an ACL rupture. So yes.
Oh shit. All right.
Why, they should just say torn. I need the visual.
I assume
No,
there's some
but torn
sort of,
how?
I assume
A
there's
little
a
bit?
difference in like.
Yeah, it's that. What you just said.
A complete tear of the ACL is also known as an ACL rupture. According to
It's just like
Sports Health.
synonyms.
I think it's just a different way of saying it.
All right.
So anyway, you only have like 5 or 6 goalies, right?
Yeah.
So losing one of them in the organization is surprisingly significant, even if they're not that far down.
Yeah. Okay, so it is announced today that the Washington Capitals' official helmet sponsor will be the former Leafs' official helmet sponsor, TikTok.
Fine.
Multi-year partnership that will see TikTok as the official partner of the Washington Capitals. Partnership includes entitlement of the Capitals road jersey and their 50th anniversary celebration, and it actually looks kind of cool. It's like,
There's 2 things here. Number 1, now TikTok's really going to take off.
yeah, good for them.
Good for them.
I know they've been fighting for a while.
This added visibility.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to be able to look left or right without seeing TikTok, right? You watch. It's going to be the next Facebook.
Yeah.
The other thing, with all that's going on with propaganda and
Well, the
banning
Chinese
TikTok
ownership thing and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. It's Washington, D.C.
Senator, I'm Singaporean and all that stuff. I do think it's very funny that the team in Washington
It's great.
is sponsored by TikTok.
Right.
I like that very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse, I found the Toronto Scepters thing you were looking at for Taylor Swift, by the way, if you wanted to.
Oh no, Steve sent it.
Oh, he did send it?
we
Oh, okay.
Didn't get to it.
Oh, we didn't get to it. Do you want me to get back to it? Or just...
I think it's. I
It's-
think
it's
we
gone.
It's
exhausted
past.
that.
All right, now NHL Media Day. NHL Media Day. We were talking about this a little bit off the air, and Steve's obviously been because has he been to Vegas? Yes. Has he been to Henderson? You betcha. And we were talking about Bruce Garriock's tweet. Missing today are Captain Brady Tkachuk and also Shane Pinto. Tkachuk is on baby watch with his wife, Emma, who is expecting any time. Pinto is in Las Vegas for the NHL Media Tour. And we thought, okay, Pinto, of all the gambling jokes aside, and I know everybody's going to make them, Pinto, out of all the guys on the Sens roster, you go,
What?
because you would think, man, Stützle, you can't put Olmark in there because he hasn't signed the extension, right?
You usually don't put like the new guy like that either.
The new guy, Claude
can.
Giroux.
You can, but yeah, usually don't.
So Pinto being there kind of makes sense because you're like the young guy and you got to represent.
Well,
Like, what
also-
types of players do you see at NHL Media Day?
Well, okay. So yeah, we were talking about this beforehand. There's the vet who's actually just kind of stoked to be there. And
like best years are behind him.
best years are behind them, but like also they're a leader and they're just sort of personable and they've done this before, so they're comfortable. You're not going to surprise them or scare them or intimidate them. The Stahl brothers, like when I got to talk to them, Jordan in particular, because I got to talk to him at the NHL Media Day. Eric was all-star, but Jordan's just like, yeah, I showed up in a golf shirt because it doesn't matter. A golf shirt and jeans. Then there's the young kid. The young, I'm going to make a category that's sort of a blended category. The young kid versus the star, because they both sort of have the same goal. I'm going to stand out.
Yep.
And they dress to the 9s and 10s. We're talking your Austin Matthews. We're talking your Matthew Barzals. We're talking guys who were just recently drafted first and stuff like that. Someone who's there to make an impression. Then you have guys in Shane Pinto's class. Shane Pinto's a little different because I think he's being sent there partially because the Sens are like, you owe us a favor because you were a naughty boy.
Yep.
But there were guys at the NHL Media Day, the last NHL Media Day I was at, where I could just tell, God, this is the last place on earth they want to be right now.
Right.
And they show up and they put on their little suit and they go where they're told and they do their best. And they, you know, for the camera, oh, hey, wow. And then the camera shuts off and they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And they hate this entire experience. And I'm curious how he handles it. I'm curious. Usually teams send their most like media savvy or like someone who just knows how to talk. But then there are guys where you know what? We don't need to ask Morgan Riley any more questions. That's enough. Like, he's a leader. He's a good guy. He'll talk to you and everything. But he's been sent to so many of these damn things since he was
They just had
drafted
a baby.
in
He's not going
2012.
this year,
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Like, I almost, like, as the years went on, it was almost like, you know, I probably should have been a little more boring.
No, you
know
got to
what
make
I-
it cool. Yeah, I think.
No.
I think what
Because then they're going to send you to everything.
I think players that understand what that can do, like I don't think if there were more massive brand deals, and I think they're coming for NHL players, get your name out there, have a really great NHL Media Day, be one of the guys that the public and the media loves because you can make a lot of money doing that.
Oh, kid
If
who
you
loves
looked
it?
at it from that direction.
Zegras.
Oh, Zegras is amazing at it.
He was so stoked to see a camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was the cover of a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was almost a Montreal Canadian. He still might be if you
knows?
ask every Montreal Canadians for him. There's Zegras proposals to
Everyone.
this day.
Everyone.
I'm saying go out there and own that. Now, Jesse, I want to do it. We're going to run through some of the teams. You've got the list of people who are there, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't have the list of people.
No,
oh, okay.
that's not
all right.
like public.
Oh, I thought that was public. Okay,
no,
never mind.
I don't know.
You might see like clips and you can make your own list.
Yeah, like we know Cole Perfetti's going because he said it at like a media avail like today or yesterday or something like that. But
That's mean.
we don't like have a list or anything like that.
I do like that Cole Perfetti is going. I do think that it's interesting that he's not going under contract.
Yeah, pending free agents don't often go. So wait, does he not have a contract for next season? Or
No, he doesn't have one now.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm assuming they're close.
yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. But it is a little bit unusual. I want to say there was one 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Anyway, I think that's neat. That's good doing your part for the team. And I think Cole Perfetti's probably going to play a lot more now that he did under Bones. So should be a good year for him.
Yeah. I don't know. Not everyone at Player Media Day wants to be there. And I'm like, man, you have a whole team to pick from. Like, you could have sent the one guy who wants to be here.
Right.
It was 3 days ago. Despite ongoing contract negotiations from Dreger, Cole Perfetti is now in Winnipeg to train and skate with teammates. Perfetti also intends on representing the Winnipeg Jets at next week's NHL Player Media Tour in Las Vegas. So good signs if you're a Jets fan, you want Perfetti to sign. Perfetti, who like had a really good season and then played no time in the playoffs.
Yeah, could be a breakout player. He's supposed to be an animal.
Well, last year was his breakout season until the end,
yeah.
where they shut it down.
19 goals. No, I mean like something where you go, oh shit, like I'm gonna get this guy in fantasy. Like,
Oh, you're talking like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, it'll help when he's not playing 13 minutes a night, right?
that too.
Hey, should we do our first press conference of the season? I don't think we've done one yet. Yeah?
Sure.
Let's do it.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Steve, speaking of DC, we
Batman.
had a question in the press conference questions channel on Discord. If you are not on our Discord, head over to sdpn.ca. You will see the link that says join us on Discord. Click it. This was from EA Plant number 125. They wrote,
EA Plant.
when is Steve coming back to DC and will he bring Adam and Jesse this time? So explain what you were doing in DC and when, and if you'll be back.
Well, interestingly, last time I was in DC, I was selling a book. Spoke to Ian Oland with RMNB, Russian Machine Never Breaks, Washington Capitals blog. We made an event, and I showed up. And we sold some books and had a great time and hung out with a bunch of people. Here's the problem, right? So I'm selling another book. But in between writing and selling the first book and writing and selling the second book, my wife and I went and had 2 kids. So, what do we do? When I visited DC, it was in the summer also. That's key. Put it this way. I don't have any American dates. If I were to get one, DC is probably top 3 in likelihood. Does that help?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's significant. I like that. There, we're still planning a lot of that stuff out, but we have a lot of events planned this year all around, which is going to be cool.
We have a handful confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a much larger handful that we're working on.
Exactly.
It's not even a handful. It's like you're taking your shirt and you're like, it's all in there.
Putting all these rocks in my shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Jesse.
a kangaroo.
Next question / comment comes from Stan Bowman, who spoke to Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic. And Stan Bowman said that the offer sheets that were signed the players are being overpaid. This is what he said. The way it's being portrayed is also a little bit unfair, that the Oilers were doing some sort of poor faith negotiating, Bowman said. If you look at both those players based on their performance, there's lots of comparable players that have signed this summer in recent years. The players can probably grow into those deals, but as of today, they're way above their actual performance.
That's such hog shit.
I don't think it is.
What do you think about?
I think that's fair.
Oh, okay.
Who said,
the point of an
Broberg's
RFA
worth
deal is
$4 million bucks?
You overpay on an RFA deal. That is, that's him. That's like, hey guys, did you know that the Leafs are blue?
No, he's using the truth to lie.
Why? How so?
Like, okay, yeah, those guys are getting overpaid. And every hockey fan with a brain is like, yeah.
Yeah. So what's he lying about?
He's saying, so Jesse, can you say it again?
Stan Bowman in The Athletic. Where was it? The players. Do you want me to read the whole thing or the last part?
Just the part that you read.
The players.
The first part. Sorry.
No, the first part too. The way it's being portrayed is also a little bit unfair. That the Oilers were doing some sort of poor faith negotiating, Bowman said. If you look at both those players based on their performance, there's lots of comparable players that have signed this summer and recent years.
Maybe
the players can probably grow into those deals, but as of today, they're way above their actual performance.
He's talking about the Dylan Holloway quote. Remember I read it to you last week where Dylan Holloway's like, we got the offer and then we just didn't hear from them and it was really weird. Dylan Holloway said that. We talked about it on the show last week. And so I think that's Bowman, because I don't think Broberg's involved in that particular. I think he's saying, oh no, that's not what happened here. And that was the big quote in Edmonton last week, was the Holloway, obviously outside of the Leon Draisaitl news, clearly. but when you're talking about that deal, I think it was, I forget who had the interview, but Dylan Holloway specifically said, we told them we had this offer and we weren't sure if we were going to sign it, and nothing kind of happened. So we signed it. And so at no point does that sound to me like bad faith negotiating. It just sounds like an organization being smart and going, yeah, I dare you, sign it.
Yeah,
and they did.
Just to read a little bit of around the quote where Pierre's writing, he writes, speaking of narratives, Bowman disagrees with the notion that the Oilers lowballed Broberg and Holloway in the contract talks.
Where is this notion? Who said this notion?
I think that's what Adam's talking about. There's a narrative in Edmonton that Edmonton didn't offer enough initially to keep Holloway and Broberg.
Yeah, that's
they lowballed them in the negotiations. That's why they accepted the offer sheets.
I don't think that's the accusation at all.
No, you're not buying that was the narrative. Okay.
No, I think he's making it up. Like,
I don't think that was the narrative. I would agree with you there that is probably not the narrative. Although if you ask Broberg and Holloway, the reason they haven't signed is they thought the offers were too low.
Yeah, and I don't think LeBron picked that up out of nowhere. Like, he asked the question, like, hey, we're talking about the narratives that Edmonton didn't do enough to sign these guys, and that's why they had to accept the offer sheet. What do you think of that, Stan Bowman? Like, that's a part, like, LeBron's not making that up, that there's some sort of theory out there that they didn't sign them. But it's true that they obviously didn't get them signed because they didn't offer them enough. Else they would have signed.
I think this is him. Listen, the Oilers were left in a bad position. It's not necessarily Stan Bowman's fault. He just got here. But they were in a bad position. And the St. Louis Blues took advantage of that. And now he's like, yeah, but they're overpaid. Yeah, that's how they work.
Mm-hmm. Here's what Holloway said.
You know that?
Mm-hmm. Edmonton Journal. We knew about the offer sheet.
Who's the author?
David Staples.
Don't read it.
No, it's a direct quote. I know that. Listen, I'm not like, hey, what does David Staples think? It's a direct quote that I've gotten other places.
Thinks I should piss in the sink.
No, you drink out of the sink.
Oh, okay.
You drink out of the urinal. That's what it is. We knew about the offer sheet before we had any negotiations with Edmonton, which was kind of weird. So here's what he said. We knew we had the offer sheet before we had any negotiations with Edmonton, which was kind of weird.
Who is this?
This is Holloway.
Holloway. Okay.
We were trying to get a deal done. I don't think we were asking for anything crazy at all. If anything, we were very upfront with Edmonton the whole time. Even about the whole offer sheet, we explained, hey, this is an option for us. Can we get a deal? And it was weird the way they handled it. I felt I had no other option but to sign the offer sheet.
Yeah, it sounds like they lowball.
Yeah, and here's, it sounds like there was no negotiation at all. That's how he's signing it.
I think is the wrong word. It's that Edmonton was still negotiating from a spot of like, that offer sheet's too high. Here's what we think you're worth. And he's sitting there being like, but I got this offer.
But he said,
so that's what I'm worth.
We knew about the offer before any negotiations with Edmonton. My thinking is, and what he's talking about is the St. Louis offer. My thinking is Stan Bowman is coming into Edmonton as a guy who Oiler fans did not want. And
why?
On the whole,
why?
We know why.
Why didn't they want?
We know why. And so he's going to try to come in and make a big mark. What's he do? He's working on a Leon Draisaitl extension. And he goes, am I going to worry about Holloway and Broberg, or am I going to worry about Leon Draisaitl? Yeah, here's my big victory piece. I'll deal with those guys in September.
No offense to Broberg and Holloway, there was bigger business to get done.
Yes.
And I don't blame Edmonton management for thinking that way.
Here's where Bowman loses me on that quote. Who cares, man? You just signed Leon Draisaitl.
People are thrilled. He was asked a question.
I guess when you just say
that's
their prerogative.
And he didn't volunteer the information. He was asked a question.
I guess and I think all he would have needed to say is, well, that was their prerogative and it's their contractual right, and we're thrilled about the team that we have.
It feels like he's making this into something it's not.
That's what I'm saying, is that he took it personally that this quote was out there, and I think, or he's trying to correct the narrative on that. And if I'm advising Bowman on PR, I'd be like, dude, don't even, just say, we wish them the best of luck. They were great Oilers, and I hope they have fun in St. Louis. Anyway, Leon Draisaitl is going to be here for the next decade. Let's talk about that.
Toronto executive Stan Bowman.
So Anyway,
And in this article, just because we just talked about it, he does acknowledge that the Draisaitl contract was looming over everything. He says, right, exactly. There's no question about it, Bowman said, as far as the Draisaitl negotiations looming large in the bigger picture. That's the reality, and that was a priority for us. He had his list of priorities, and this is my checklist to get things done. And he didn't get to Broberg and Holloway because he wanted to do Draisaitl first. And in that time, when he's doing the Draisaitl, St. Louis swoops in. So
I don't know why he's complicating this thing that seems so simple.
yeah,
You didn't have cap space. The team came in, took advantage of you, and signed 2 players to more than you were willing to pay them because you couldn't.
and probably above market value because that's how you steal somebody in an offer sheet. You don't if you offered them what they were worth, the other team would just accept it.
Yeah, we all saw Kakaniemi.
So yeah.
Boo! Shut up.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to make us think.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Stan needs to understand, like, yo, just take the W, man. Take the W. Don't worry about those guys. You got Jeff Skinner on what? You did what with your roster? They did a good job with their forwards this offseason. Like, just shut up and leave.
I think this is the us against the world time of year.
Oh, really?
Elliot Friedman was so funny on 32 Thoughts because he was talking about a Mark Stone quote where he's like, "Oh, it's another year of people writing off the Vegas Golden Knights," and Fried's just like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Who's like, "Oh yeah, you know who's gonna suck this year? Vegas." No one, not a human being,
No.
on the planet. Terra Forma.
Agreed.
What are you talking about? The Vegas Golden Knights suck? What? Shut up.
Oh, they weren't great, to be honest.
Yeah.
The haters were almost right. They didn't have a great regular season last year.
Well, no, but like Vegas's bad seasons are all artificial. You know what I mean? Like, they're not bad because they're bad. They're bad because they're doing some sort of weird gymnastics. And when the gymnastics work, they win a cup. We've already seen it.
Except for last year when Mark Stone was on LTIR for the last few weeks. And
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. This year, it's got a way better chance of working, and I think they're going to be fine.
What else we got, Jess?
We have a contender for Brad Marchand T-shirt for 1,000th game. So I'm trying to bring it up here. This is from
Describe it, Steve.
It's from Rob Har on our Discord. They write, "What do we think of my ideas for the Brad Marchand 1,000 point shirt?" So
It
we
is
got
a
one there. I'll
black
bring up the other
rat
two.
with yellow writing of 1,000 in like the old classic digital style. I like it.
I think it's fantastic.
I think it is very simple. It doesn't need words. We don't need words. Just the rat and 1,000.
That was great.
All right, Maddie, if you'll pull this off, let me just bring up the other two here.
Oh, what do we got?
We got
Very
hold on a second. There's the second one.
Oh, these are more Brad designs.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's cuter.
Oh, I see what you're going with.
It looks mousier than a rat.
So, yeah, there's a mouse rat in the middle.
It does look mousier.
Mouse rat with big ears.
Mice are cuter than rats, let's be honest.
And it says 1 on one side of the rat head and 0 on the other.
Because the 2 eyeballs are the other zeros.
See, is it the eyeballs or the ears? I guess
What
it's
I
the
would have
eyeballs.
done is made the eyeballs and the nose the zeros, you see?
No, make the eyeballs yellow. Make the eyeballs yellow. Nah, I like the other one better. I appreciate the creativity. I like the first one better.
All right, and we got one more. Let me pull it up. Let's see if this will work. It's loading. Let's see if I can
I love
open
people.
this.
I love people.
All right, here we go.
Good on you for.
There you go. This is number 3.
Way better. That's the best one.
That might be the one. So it's a big old fat rat. It's a rat whose uncle might be a pig, honestly. Big, huge
That's
fat
a New York
rat.
City rat.
Yeah. Well, you can't have that.
No, I can't have that.
And it's got sunglasses, and each of the lenses has a yellow 1,000 on it. I'd be more likely to wear that one. I want that one the most.
This is my favorite design out of all of them. I think this is the one I pick.
I think the first one probably sells the most, but this is like the third jersey that everyone likes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is the album cut. That's the best.
Yes.
Yeah,
100% deluxe version.
Very cool.
Very
Man,
cool.
the creativity is amazing.
Yes.
Last question. This is from Matt on Discord. Steve, how's the toy collection going?
Sorry, doll collection?
Do you have an update? Can you give us an update on the Blue Room toys that you got?
Figures. Haven't done a ton of adding to it. They came out with a new they don't have a lot of mascots, but I've met a bunch of them. So I have Gritty, and I had to search for that and pay an arm and a leg for it. They came out.
That's
they
cool.
finally came out with a Carlton the Bear.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
So I added a Carlton the Bear. Dude, it was $50.
Oh my God.
know
That's,
what's
that's
crazy?
James Reimer prices.
Dude, it's still 2020 or it's 2024, and I still haven't bought a figure as expensive as that one.
The James Reimer one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoops. Oopsies, daisies, and it's not even on the wall anymore. But yeah, I got Carlton the Bear. New additions.
I love that they're doing that for the mascots, by the way. There are some good NHL mascots
Yeah.
that deserve a little more credit.
I added pucks to the. Like, there's not a lot of room to add anything really.
You got to take stuff down to add.
Yeah, I kind of want to rearrange some things on the leaf wall just to have it look a little different for the new season. But gosh, I don't want to. Like, I kind of want to do it, and also, that sounds like a lot of work, and I got to patch up the walls unless I can creatively cover all the holes in the wall. I've mostly added stuff like pictures of my friends, family, and children.
Yeah.
And those are on a wall that like will not be on camera. So yeah,
I like that.
I've made it more of a workspace.
Okay. Is that the last question, Jesse? Hey, do you have any trouble keeping your children away from your dolls?
Shockingly, no. Well, Isla is a potato still.
Yeah.
But now
Still
she's
paperweight.
a grab potato. So she's a little bit of a twist potato. But that's it. She can't do much. Leo, the only time he ever knocks anything off the wall is when he takes the yoga ball that I sit on for all my videos, and he basically just hurls it through the room, and it'll knock some things off. He has yet to wreck anything. His friends will come over to the house. They will play in the blue room, unsupervised, and not wreck anything.
Really?
I know I'm playing with fire. But 2 4-year-olds and I think his older brother came once, like a 6-year-old, went in the blue room, full of toys. There's stuff on the shelves that's not in boxes also. Didn't wreck a single thing.
Wow.
I know.
That's impressive.
I know.
Okay.
I know. But one day, if you see a bunch of shit missing, it happened.
Now, a programming note for you before we go here. Obviously, our NHL season previews, we've already started recording those. Jesse, what's the release schedule like that? What are we doing with that? What are we going to do with those this year?
They're going to be released 2 a day leading up to the season, so 15 days out, or
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's 32 teams, so 16 days out.
I like that. Okay. And CJ and Julian are at a big summit in New York to start the week, so they're not going to do a show until Wednesday and Friday this week. Yeah, I think that was it. Was that it?
In-person shows?
I don't think they're doing in person.
Nah.
I think they're fly home. They're like all-day summits. You know those all-day summits?
No, they're terrible. That's part of the reason I quit.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that anymore.
All-day summits are hard. But I'm sure they're having a good time. Is there anything else am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything else that's going on at the network this week?
You're handsome.
Well, then let's hit the extra. Okay. Let's hit the extra. And obviously, as always, we're going to have our VIP episode later this week as well. You can sign up for that and get VIP ad-free.
We have new merch on the merch store. Brad!
Is there Brad?
There is Brad.
Oh, I like that.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.